Hey guys, I just wanted to give a little demonstration of some of the techniques I use when I'm producing a song. And so I chose one from my new album, and the song is called Don't Call Me Shirley. So anybody that follows lame comedy like me and loves it knows that that is from the movie Airplane with Leslie Nielsen, whereby someone says,
"Surely you can't be serious."
And Leslie Nielsen says,
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
so that's the basis for the song. Over the course of my 25 years rapping, I didn't always produce. I stood on the shoulders of other giants like Magic Kid, Solio, and the rest of the Audible team who produced great beats for me, or the musicians that I was in bands with. And so I didn't have to produce, but I always wanted to. And so just before COVID, I bought the necessary software, and then COVID hit, and I really started putting a lot of time to it. So now I produce for myself. And this is the fourth year in a row that I've put out an album on May Long Weekend. And this is one of the songs. For this song, I knew that I wanted a super fun vibe. I was thinking that I would emulate something along the lines of a D-Light, Groove is in the Heart, which just has that fun bouncy vibe. So the first thing I did was start a Reason session and change the beats per minute to 122, which is the same as Groove is in the Heart. And then I began deep diving on YouTube, looking for samples. I'm a sample-based producer, and that's what I do each fall. I just really look around. So I found Groovin' by Mr. G by Richard Groove Holmes. It does not take a musical genius to know that there's something there that's got vibes written all over it. So I snag that. I use a Focusrite box, which allows me to loop out of my computer into the box and then back into my computer and basically record into GarageBand whatever audio I'm listening to on YouTube. I played around in GarageBand until I found the proper loop, and then exported it and brought it into Reason. Fortunately, I didn't have to change this one too much. It was 127 beats per minute to begin with, this loop. And so I just expanded it a little bit to match the 122 format, and away we go. Reason is chock full of effects and filters and sound boxes, and there are people out there that know just what they're doing with them, and I'm not one of those people. So what I do is spend hours just pressing buttons and adjusting dials and waiting to see what sounds good. And I know it when I hear it, and it's kind of just trial and error. Let's hear this loop without the filter. And then let's hear it with the filter. So I like that. I liked how that made it sound. So I duplicated that track. That one's the basis, but I duplicated the track a few times and threw on different effects just so that I could use a little bit of variation throughout the song. So what do we need next? Obviously, we need a drum track. An old school track like this needs a good, straightforward drum. So I found one. It's in a song called Give It To You by Up, featuring Jeff Beck. And I knew this is a good loop because it's been used in other classic hip-hop tracks, notably to me, Mr. Dabalina by Del the Funky Homo Sapien, which is a track I love.
Mr. Dabalina, Mr. Bob Dabalina.
So I looped that and imported it into the song. You didn't need to do too much in terms of putting effects on it or anything, although I did have to speed it up a little bit to make it match the 122 beats per minute. And the result was good. I like that drum beat, but I wanted a little bit of chaos in there. And usually I'll achieve that by playing around with some hi-hats or whatever and programming them in using a drum machine. But This time I had an inkling to try something else. Everybody knows song 2 by Blur. Woohoo! So that has a pretty cool isolated drum at the beginning of the track. So I said, I wonder if that would work. So to make it work with the 122, I brought it into Reason and I like condensed it big time. I sped it up over double and threw a little filter on it, and it sounded like almost unrecognizable, but I thought it might sit well under that other drum. So this all sounded good, but I figured I need one more thing. What was that thing? Sometimes a siren sounds good. Sometimes a siren will take a song to a next level. So I went on YouTube and got a simple siren. And I said, okay, let's see how this sounds with some different effects on it. So I played around, and I'm glossing this over, but usually this process takes time. And I found this one. And I liked the result of that. So that was good. So then one last ingredient, I just went in, the song, of course, as I said, was called Don't Call Me Shirley. So I wanted something that said Shirley. And so I went into YouTube again and ripped a little tiny snippet from the song The Name Game by Shirley Ellis. And luckily, one of the names she plays with is Shirley. Shirley Bo Burley. You may be asking yourself, is all of this sample yanking legal? And the answer is no, it is not. I try to hide my samples and mix them up so that they're not super obvious. And I suppose I'll get sued if I ever get rich, which means I'll never get sued. So here we have it. Now comes the moment of truth. Does this all sound good together? We got a bass line, 2 drums, a filtered siren, and a little Shirley. So how does it all sound together? The vibe is good. The vibe is good.
Ooh la 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 la.
So a vocal, obviously an old school style hip hop track needs a good vocal. And I was taking my inspiration at this time. I wanted it to be fun, and I was kind of leaning into some of those old school storytelling vibes. Like everyone remembers Young MC, Bust a Move.
Okay, Smarty, go to a party. Girls are scantily clad and showing body.
And went to the movies, da-da-da-da-da. And old school Fresh Prince is like that. You know, there's always a story in the verses, and it brings back to the hook. And so I recorded my mains.
Blades of steel played up in Jasper. We hired a driver to get there faster.
And also my backups.
Jasper. Faster.
And I was feeling good about it. So what do we need? We need a female hook. So I didn't really quite know who to ask. And so what I did, and I've never done this before, but I went on a website, Fivver, where you can hire people to do tasks, like pretty well any task. And I went through a bunch of vocalists' reels, and I found a woman from Jamaica named Zay876. And I gave her like $100, and I sang it and sent it to her, and then she sang it and sent it back to me, and it was very transactional. She didn't want, any features or anything like that. It's like paying someone to draw you a picture or anything else. So it was different. It's nothing that I've done before, but that's how I went about it.
Don't call me Shirley, that's not my name. I'm not responding to that.
So I liked the vocal that she sent back, but somehow it didn't feel complete. But regardless, I sat on that for a while. And then I went to a dinner party at the home of my good friends Garassi Noel Havard and Janet Mallory.
Dinner is served. A wop-bop-a-looba, bop-bam-boom.
And I met 2 women named Nej and Paige, who are in a band called Lady Baby. And we got to talking, and they both sing. And so I brought them over to my house to record a vocal on a different song. That song is called Float the Bow.
Oh, you didn't know.
Float the boat.
And you can also find that on the album Ricca Razor Sharp, Ricca Fire Party Tonight. And all was good in the world. But then I said, listen, let me play this song for you. And I listened to it, and right on the spot, the two of them went in the booth and added their vocals to it. Now we've got some harmonies. Now we are cooking with butter.
Don't call me Shirley, that's not my name. I'm not responding to that. I'm not playing that game.
So there it is. It all came together. The last thing to do is just to throw it in this program I have called Isotope Ozone 9. And that's like a mastering program. And again, I don't know how to master either. I just click all the presets until one sounds good. And the result is the song. So would you like to hear the song? Let's hear that song.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
You can hear that song too, drum.
Don't call me Shirley.
Blades of steel played up in Jasper. We hired a driver to get there faster. He thought about getting up for a hike. We thought about drinking beer all night. He was on and on and on and on about getting up at the break of dawn like,
Shirley, we're all getting up early.
no, we're not. And don't call me Shirley.
True story, true story. This next verse is kind of made up, but it's more like based on real events.
One night I went to my closet. I had a big event. I wanted to rock it. I wore some of this. I wore some of that. My duds look fat. Who cares if they match? But my lady turned up her nose. She wasn't feeling my razor sharp clothes like,
Shirley, you'll change. You look like Mr. Furley.
I'll wear this and don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley, that's not my name. I'm not responding to that. I'm not playing that game. I know a couple Shirleys and I like them just fine. It's a wonderful name, but it's just not mine.
I got an aunt named Shirley, an uncle named Shirley. Sometimes I'm cool and other times surly. I used to be skinny, but now I'm burly. I grab this beat by the short and curlies.
Okay, this next verse is completely made up, but entertaining.
I met this girl way back in the day, talking about whips and talking about chains, talking about pleasure, talking about pain. I thought she was kidding, but the kid don't play. At first it was cool, then I got concerned. She had a butt plug and she said,
Your turn.
Shirley, you're joking, talking so dirty.
No, I'm not, and don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley, that's not my name. I'm not responding to that. I'm not playing that game. I know a couple Shirleys and I like them just fine. It's a wonderful name, but it's just not mine. Don't call me Shirley, that's not my name. Whatever Shirley did, I ain't taking the blame. I know a couple Shirleys and I like them just fine. It's a wonderful name, but it's just not mine.
Shirley, Shirley, Bo Burley, banana, banana, Bo Burley, B5, Mo Merley. Shirley, 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 Bo Burley, banana, banana, Bo Burley, B5, Mo Merley. Shirley.
So yeah, there's the song. It fits right in with the fun vibe of the album, which is streaming now wherever you stream music, and the album is called Rickify Your Party Tonight. So check out the album, stream it for a good time, and check it out. Thank you guys.